You're watching E.T.N, where we don't do news, we just talk entertainment. Share and subscribe.
Hey guys, welcome to Entertainment Talk Nation. This is Rob. This video, we're going to do a review for The Walking Dead, Season 5, Episode 2, entitled Strangers. The hunters have arrived. Yes, Gareth and his crew have found Rick and his crew, and we are serving up some dark meat, baby. Bob is on the grill. Yes, replacing Dale from the comic books. Woo! So, the first episode would be very hard to follow up, but this episode did a great job. Did anyone else find that scene where they were in with the zombies and and all the shit? Man. Oh, that was rough to watch. That was rough to watch. And it wasn't even really because of the zombies. It was just the pinched loaves floating above the water. It was just too much. Oh my God. Yeah, that scene was rough to watch. It was a little disgusting. But a very, very good episode. Very suspenseful. Okay. A lot of moments there where you're like, what the hell? When Daryl and Carol are sitting amongst themselves and they hear something and you can see somebody walk by, and right away, I'm watching, I'm like, okay, well, that could be Morgan. It could be a walker, and it could be the hunters. Immediately I figured it was the hunters, but it could have been Morgan. Morgan doesn't know Daryl, he doesn't know Carol, so he wouldn't just come out of nowhere and say anything. But obviously now we know that was the hunters or Gareth. So, in this episode, we meet Father Gabriel, who, if you read the comic, you already knew right away what his situation was. But, I don't know I guess I could spoil it. So if you don't want to know what Father Gabriel's all about and what his situation is, you might want to stop the video here. 3, 2, 1. Okay, so to make it short and sweet, if you've read the comic, you know that his guilt comes from when the apocalypse first went down and he let most of his congregation get eaten by zombies right outside his church. So that's where his guilt stems from. And Rick read his guilt right away. Rick is schooled. He knows what the deal is. And, I really think that, it's hard to tell where they're going to go. But this was a very comic book episode. Very, very comic book with some changes. As I said in the past, and I want to talk a little bit about Tara, because I remember saying in some of my other videos, if you watch them, that Tara could play a pivotal role in the story depending on how Rick and others react to her being with the governor. Now that I've seen that's played out, it seems to be a closed deal, so I'm putting her back on my hit list because there was no conflict. Rick happily accepted her. Maggie happily forgave her and accepted her. So that arc is officially over. She is officially part of the group, and now she is officially fodder or potential fodder. Who knows? Now, in terms of Bob, I had a very strong feeling right after he got pulled up from the water that he had already gotten either scratched or bitten. Now, they haven't shown it yet, but once again, reverting back to the comics, and if you don't want to know, then shut it off again or fast forward a little bit. But considering that he's replacing Dale from the comic, we know now that Dale in the comic, when he was being eaten by the hunters, he was infected. And in the comic, when he got infected, he too walked off, much like Bob. So there's a good chance that Bob is infected and they're eating infected meat. So, I'm a little hazy on all the details. It's been a while since I've read those, but for the most part, I'm pretty sure I got it on the nail there. So Bob is Dale. Interesting also is that Carol and Daryl took off to go find Beth. Daryl recognized the car that drove by, and he looked like he ran upon Carol right as she was about to take off herself. And I don't know why she would do that. It was nice to see Rick give her the respect he did earlier in the episode when he basically asked her if him and his group can join her because of what she did at Terminus and because of the fact that, while I think Rick still feels he made the right decision, he might have a little sense of guilt, especially knowing how things came back. Or maybe he felt like he did make the wrong move, and that's why the group suffered what they're suffering now, which is being on the road and being out in the elements, zombies, walkers, people hunting them. So Carol was about to take off. I don't think Daryl really figured it out right away because he got so distracted with the car. So them taking off is an interesting twist because remember, in the comic, Daryl is not in the comic at all. He does not exist in the comic universe. And Carol, at this point, if I'm not mistaken, is already dead. So now you take them out of the picture, which is clever by the writers to take them towards the arc with Beth. But now it separates the group again, and we have to wonder how long is that separation going to take place? Again, even during that scene with Carol going to the car, once again, you hear something in the background after she kills a zombie. And initially I thought it was something scary, because my biggest fear right now is that Carol is on the chopping block for dying, because there's always this formula that once a character hits a point where they step up big time, shortly thereafter, they're killed. And Carol, as I said, is already dead in the comic book, so she can go at any time, but we'll see what happens with that. Now, in terms of the group in and of itself, they're all together. It's a strong group. They very capable of handling themselves. Obviously, Gareth has caught up to them. Just want to give a shout out to a couple of you guys, a couple of you subscribers who in my last video mentioned, that you thought Tyrese did not kill that guy. You are correct. He was there in the group. They showed him very briefly, but I recognized him right away. And I really thought that Tyrese killed him simply because he was beating the pulp out of him. And he was still beating the pulp out of him when they panned away during that scene. And I thought that maybe he didn't want Carol to see the guy because maybe he just looked like a mess. Like he just pounded his face in. But he is alive. It's going to be interesting to see if that's going to come back to haunt Tyrese. I'm almost certain it will. And will Carol be around to see that he did not finish the job? And, that's just a lot of interesting things happen in this episode, where in the first one you have the explosions, the actions, and all this great stuff. This one you have a lot of seed planting. You know what I mean? Carol and Daryl go get Beth. The guy that Tyrese said he killed is alive. We don't know 100% sure if Bob is infected, but I have a feeling he is. Now we know that the termites are right there, and they are the hunters now. Maybe not following some of the characters from the comic, but they are the hunters. So this episode, very comic book-like, very good. The Tara arc that I've been kind of keeping my eye on is pretty much over now. Maggie and Rick have accepted him. They all did agree to go to Washington, D.C., so we know that that's going to be their destination going forward, but they have some things they have to deal with in terms of the hunters, Father Gabriel, what role he's going to play. We still have not seen Beth yet, but we know that Carol and Daryl are going to be following that car, which is the same car that did take Beth. They are resupplied. They're restocked. They have a truck. They're at the church, but they have some concerns. They have some things going on. So did anyone else get grossed out when Gareth was basically eating Bob right in front of him? I mean, really? Like, I was like, oh my God, man. This episode definitely had some disgusting parts in terms of when they were at the shelter, trying to get the canned goods, being in water that's full of poop and, zombies that even when they stab them, you just see like gook coming out. It's not even blood. And it was so gross. It was so gross. And then, of course, Bob being eaten and you seeing his foot on the grill and everybody's chowing down. I mean, could you imagine sitting there and watching people eat you? Like, it's just, oh man. So this was a pretty, just kind of gross episode. And then on top of that, you had a lot of suspenseful scenes, noises in the dark, noises in the background, and they've got some issues in front of them. This is one thing that Rick wanted to avoid. He wanted to avoid not finishing them off and then having to deal with them later. And it looks like that's what's going to happen. And, a lot of things are going to go down. We got Father Gabriel in the mix now. He's got some issues there, and we know how that's going to play out if you've read the comic. The hunters are right there. They're right around them. They're not far from them at all. Carol and Daryl took off, and everybody in the church is oblivious to what's going on outside. We'll make for a great episode, I assume, next week. And you can expect my review after the episode next week, and you can expect a preview video sometime tomorrow night, Monday night. This is Rob signing off for E.T.N, where we don't do news, we just talk entertainment. Take it easy.
Thank you for watching E.T.N. Don't forget to comment, share, and subscribe. Join the nation's Facebook page to meet other subscribers or visit E.T.N's Facebook page and Twitter page. Links for all are in the description.